Welcome to this thing we do.
We have no clue what it's called, but you guys are the fourth class that we're doing this for, and we still don't have a name. So if any of you can think of a name,
or like a theme song. That'd be cool to get a theme song. I always think that.
then you can have extra credit. I will bump your grade a whole. So if you have a B, I'll make it an A.
You're not the teacher.
If you have an A, I'll make it an E for excellent.
That's not true, but I will give you extra credit. Not.
I tried.
That's right. Okay. All right.
But basically, tell them what the premise is.
Yeah. So we basically go on this show, and not show. That makes it sound way more nice than it is. Basically, we just learn about government.
But he teaches me it, and then I can make sarcastic comments, and I can call him out when he's being boring, which is something you guys can't do.
Yeah, and it kind of gives us things. Oh no.
I'll get him, no problem.
Okay. So the three systems of government. That's what we're talking about today. So let's get going.
Cannot wait.
So there are three systems of government that you'll see around the world. The first one, and the one that's in the most countries, is called the unitary system, okay? And a unitary system works like this. It's basically a system of government where there's a single central government, and that's supreme. And that one basically makes decisions that get carried out to the whole rest of the country, that no other government in that country can really question or go against what the central government says.
This is not America.
Not America, no. This is like Suriname or the UK, where there is a national government, whether it be Congress,
where you
elect
like the party and the party elects No, okay, just kidding.
There's basically one central government. There's like a parliament or a national assembly or whatever that government is, and it decides, makes all the decisions. So a unitary government makes the decisions for everything else. So it makes decisions for the local governments. It can give certain powers to local governments. It can go up and be like, hey, this city, you can choose, if you want, you can build a park and stuff like that. But it can also take it away. So all the power in the Constitution rests in the central government. So according to these countries' Constitution, it's all in the central government. That is all the power.
Is that how Britain is?
Yes, that's why it's called unitary, because union for one. So one government, which is the central, national, federal government that makes all the decisions. And these are all the blue countries. So all the blue countries here are unitary government. So, most countries in the world. Cool. I think it's like something of like 130 out of 190 countries are
Who did it first, do you know?
No, I mean, pretty much since like the beginning of time, they've been unitary governments. It's the easiest one.
Like Rome?
I mean, yeah, probably even before that, too. All right, it's unitary. Got it?
Got it. Okay. Let's go.
And then one of the opposites, not the opposite, really, because we're going to talk about confederal in a second, but there's also the federal system, okay? This is the second system of government. And a federal system is where states or provinces or local governments share power with central governments. That means that United States example of this, so they have a federal or national government, but they also have state governments, and the central government has some powers, and states governments have some powers. According to the Constitution, the federal government can't do whatever it wants because some powers are reserved to the states.
Checks and balances.
Somewhat, yes. That's a little different too. But you're right. You're swinging. Just keep swinging. Eventually, you'll hit something.
Eventually, I'll hit something. Yeah. That's a baseball reference.
Yeah, or cricket reference if you're into that. So the central government makes decisions, and state governments also. So for instance, United States, only the central government can declare war, so that's a power it gets. But a central government can't interfere with trade inside the states. So states have the power inside their states of the trade, so they can make certain things legal, certain things not legal.
By states, we're talking like California, Florida,
yeah,
New
exactly.
York.
Mm-hmm. And so like Canada, same thing, except they're called provinces. Mexico,
Oh, Canada has
Brazil.
The same federal system?
Mm-hmm. So a lot of big countries have federal systems. A lot of countries with a large area. So so that's the federal system. So
Does this give the most power to the people?
No, it gives more power to local government. So in a way, we'll talk some about it, but in a way it kind of does, yeah. It gives a lot of power to local.
More than a unitary system.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that brings us to the last one. The last one is the confederal system.
I know that flag's not good.
Yes, that's not good. So the confederal system is a system where the power resides in the states and regional government. So this is the exact opposite of a unitary system. So this is where the states have all the power, and they make decisions basically for the central government. They're basically, in this case, the states are pretty much their own governments, their own nations, and they're making decisions for the central government. So there's no country that does this today. But
what is this?
This is the EU, the European Union. So some countries, so the EU is kind of an example of a confederal system.
I'm confused.
European Union. It's a thing where it's a quote-unquote government where there's a bunch of countries in Europe basically have allied together, and that's why they all use the euro.
Is this Brexit? How Britain just left it?
Yeah, so Britain would just left the EU, yes.
Oh, not to be confused with Mexit, which means that Meghan Markle left Britain. Something entirely different.
Yeah. Another example of the confederal system is the Confederacy, United States, example of that, where states had so much power, really they decide what happens with the central government. They basically decide how much government the power is going to have. If you also remember the beginning of last year, when we talked about U.S. history, we talked about the Articles of Confederation, so same sort of thing. States had a lot of power in basically their own countries, and they came together and kind of like only had to give what they wanted to. And we saw how that didn't work and how they had to try to fix that, and they wrote the U.S. Constitution and started a federal system of government because the Confederate was really not working. So those are the three forms of government, systems of government, not forms. Unitary, federal, and confederal.
I like how you have the hammer.
Yes.
The gavel.
It's really hard to find clip art for and pictures for government.
You want to know what else is hard to find about this?
What?
So this is the part of the show where
I feel like we're
that's what
always
it is, the show.
Our video.
Where it's Mrs. Magera's tea time. And that's when I tell you something juicy about the subject, except this happens to be not the most entertaining subject.
Okay, so I'm going to be national government, and Benji is going to be the state government. Got it, Benji? You're the state government. That's a face of someone who understands what's going on. All right, so in a unitary system, the way it works is I tell him whatever I want. Benji, stare. Benji, stare some more. Benji, stare. See, and he doesn't have anything to do. So unitary system, I basically tell the state, local government what to do, and I get all the decisions as the national government. Now, we're going to do federal system. So once again, I'm national government, and he is the state or local government. So in federal system, this is how it works. I would go and be like, hey, Benji, would you mind staring some?
No, hold on. He has rights. And if he wants to stare, he will stare. And if he doesn't want to stare, he doesn't have to stare.
You're right. I have to respect your rights as a state, and you have to respect my rights as a national government.
You want to play, you can play.
Together, we'll figure out something. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a federal system. Then in a confederal system, the way it works is this. You basically go and you go, and I'm the national government, so please, state government, will you help us out? We're so poor. He goes, no, me and my fellow states want ourselves money and food, money and food. Wah! And so that's a confederal system, is that the national government basically is at the mercy of the state or local governments who are basically their own country because they're so powerful. And so he gives me what we want. So I give you one toy. Oh, thank you, Benji. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Father.